I'm Grace.
So let's get started.
I'm a recipe blogger, family-taught home chef,
Cheers.
Cheers.
iPhone-only photographer, and proud New Englander. Soft pillows of homemade sweet potato gnocchi bathing in brown butter and sage is the perfect way to celebrate fall. Married to my Italian hubby, you'd think that I'd already have a gnocchi recipe on my blog, but I just always thought it was really hard to make, so I pushed it aside. But today I'm going to show you that sweet potato gnocchi is actually easy to make. And it starts off with our friends Sweet and Tater. And all I did was I just scrubbed them to get any dirt off of them. And then I'm going to give them a little stab, take some anger out, just so they don't blow up when you cook them. And believe it or not, I'm going to throw them in the microwave. And the reason why I like to do them in the microwave is because they kind of dry out a little bit and they get really starchy, which is nice for gnocchi. It's gonna work out better than roasting them in the oven. So I put them in the, I almost said put them in the oven. Put them in the oven, oh my God. Put them in the microwave for about 10 to 20 minutes. Usually takes me about 15. This is where I sleep at night. You know they're ready when you can glide in and out of your potatoes without any struggles. Next step, cut your potatoes open. They're gonna be really piping hot. And if you can take the skin right off of them and pop that beautiful flesh in a big bowl. Or you can wait for them to cool, it's up to you. You need exactly a cup of sweet potato, so you wanna measure that out, and then you can always save the rest of the sweet potato for something else. I let my sweet tater cool just a little bit, so when I add an egg in there, the egg isn't gonna scramble. First, we have some ricotta, and ricotta is gonna add this velvety creaminess and flavor to your gnocchi. I can't speak. And then, as I mentioned, an egg. And the egg is going to add structure to the gnocchi, help it form and come together. And then we have all the flavors. A little bit of Parmesan cheese or Parmigiano Reggiano is gonna add some saltiness and just underlying flavor. A pinch of nutmeg because it's fall and you just gotta do that kind of thing. Salt, and just mix it together. In my haste and excitement, I forgot to tell you that you need to mash the potato before you add all your other ingredients. Very important. I have some flour, and that is our last ingredient. And I'm just gonna start with about half of this flour. And you just wanna work in the flour, don't overwork it, just get it combined. And then we're gonna add the rest. It's time to get in there with your hands and really get that dough formed. See how it's coming together as a dough now and not just a pile of sweet potato. Just keep gently working it, not overworking it until it forms into a cohesive, nice, uniform ball of dough. So you can see that the dough is pretty sticky. It's really sticking to my hands even though I added a bunch of flour. So I'm just gonna add about a tablespoon more of flour. And you want your dough to be just a little sticky, but not super sticky like this to the point where it's sticking in your hands. This is what you want. Not too sticky. It only sticks a tiny bit, but it's not sticking to your hands to the point where you got gloves of dough on your fingers. Now what I like to do is I'm just going to lightly flour my hands and just a little working surface here. And then I'm gonna take my big ball of dough and I'm gonna separate it into 2 or 3 pieces. And then you're just going to roll it in your hands and make sure your hands have enough flour on them so it doesn't stick too much until you get this rolled out log shape that's about a 1/2 inch thick. final step before we boil these guys. Cut them. You're gonna take a sharp knife or whatever you got to cut them, and you're just gonna cut about 1 inch pieces of gnocchi. This step is totally optional, but if you want a quick, delicious sauce with your sweet potato gnocchi, I just do a simple brown butter and sage sauce. So that's what you want to do before you boil your gnocchi. Butter in a pan, let it melt, and I'll show you how to brown it. Butter's melted. I have my pan over medium heat, and the key is to just watch it until it starts turning brown, and it's gonna smell like brown butter in here. And once it starts turning brown, you kind of want to swirl it around to make sure that the butter browns evenly. And once it's nice, beautiful nut brown, you're gonna take it right off the heat and add some sage. You can see the butter's getting foamy, and you can also see some brown starting to form. So you just want to watch it, stir it around, and make sure it doesn't get too brown. Perfection. Nut brown, beautiful. Turn off the heat, and then add in sage leaves, and they'll fry up in the butter a little bit. Perfection. I took the brown butter off the heat to make sure it doesn't burn while we cook our gnocchi. I have a pot of boiling water, and I'm just gonna drop our gnocchi right into the water. Give them a gentle stir just to make sure that they're all separated. We're gonna let them boil till they float, and then a minute past, we'll be all set. You can either bathe your gnocchi in this beautiful, amazing brown butter. Just toss it right in there, or you can top it, just do a little drizzle, all that goodness. A sprinkle of toasted hazelnuts, some Parmesan Reggiano on the top. This is how you enjoy fall. Perfectly pillowy gnocchi. Soft, perfection. A little sweet. Brown butter adds that richness, crunch of the hazelnuts. Check this out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it.